With the first beat that our heart takes, we tick off an invisible mechanism that continues on with us for the rest of our lives. No, I'm not referring to our consciousness. We've got time on target here. Time, the most irreplaceable of all our assets, yet it's still the most ill-treated one. They say we realize the worth of something only after losing it. This quote fits ever so perfectly in this context. You see, the Western societies like to see time as a linear phenomena, meaning that it can move in one direction only and can never go back, as opposed to their counterparts in the East who believe that time is cyclical in nature and that nothing is permanent, not even death. That is to say that we all just keep coming back to life in one form or the other for reasons undefined. Anyway, we are here to focus on the one thing that we all can agree on, and which is an undeniable truth of our existence, our present. So what actually is time? Is it just the number of times the earth has revolved around the sun, with or without us being on it? Or is it a sum total of the memories created in our past? Or maybe just an infinite number of ticks made by a bunch of needles inside a circular loop on a wall? Everything takes longer than you think. Murphy's Law. This idea best encapsulates our whole collective approach towards time, how less we think of it, and how crucial a role it plays in everything we do. How cultures and norms have changed over the years, and how things that were once hip and upbeat are now just events of the past and pages of the history. But what actually compels those changes to occur? What is it that makes us all feel one way at one point in time and hold a totally different opinion of it at another? And how do some people, on the other hand, think and come up with things way ahead of their times? Does our existence depend on time, or is it the time that depends on us? Well, our present understanding of time tells us that it's a fourth dimension beyond our senses, which serves as a universal log to life used by us to keep track of events occurring on an invisible scale. But if it is so insignificant and mundane, then why is it so important for someone who hasn't got long to live? And not so much for someone who has a long way to go. It is said that life is what we make of it. But how are we to make a life if we don't keep tabs on the most essential equipment required in the process? Time is best compared with the amount of money one has in their account, with the only exception that the latter is intangible, and hence no one knows how much of it they still have. Regardless of how self-assuring life seems, the only certainty that it comes with is that we all have a definite period of time in life, and we never know how long it might last. So what do all these questions leave us with? They compel us to adopt a different perspective on time, not because it's quite valuable for somebody else and maybe not so much for you, but because at one point or the other, everyone is going to run out of it. With so much to see in the world, so much to do, feel, and discover, we often forget the humble fact that what we don't have much and can never buy more of is time. So it's time to create a bucket list, if you will, to look really hard on things that actually matter to us. Because time once lost can never be regained. But what we have right now and here on is just good enough to try for things that justify our struggle of life, without caring for the social norms or what others might think, without comparing our lives with others and trying to be what we are not. It's about time we had stopped looking at the time of others and started focusing on our own. Because those bunch of needles on the wall, they won't stop ticking regardless of anything.